Hi everyone, Morgan here. So let's talk about hygiene. This is part of a Lights Out series. Just go down to the description to check out the playlist with all the Lights Out videos, part of this series. Okay, so hygiene. So technically when it comes to lights out, your water should still be running from your faucet. Like if you're on city water, it should still be running from your faucet for at least a few days. It really depends on the city, county, or wherever you're getting your water from. It's so varied, but you can definitely count on, if it's like a long-term lights out, they're not using generators anymore, anything like that, your water will eventually go out. Okay. Now, real quickly, if you are on a well, I would highly recommend that you have some sort of alternative way to pump water out of your well, whether it's a hand pump, one of those little, there's something that you dip down into the pipe and then you scoop it back up. There's also solar and wind. Those are all options. Of course, there is investments to these things. And then of course you could be off grid with your whole solar off grid system or wind or whatever, and then have your batteries and all that. And then you can still have an electric pump just as long as you're controlling your energy. So in the beginning, just fill up all your pots, all your bowls, all your pots, everything. Fill everything with water, okay? And don't forget that water can also be found from your water tank. I have a video down below to where you can go find out how to get water from your water tank if you have like a traditional water tank and not a tankless. Anyway, what we were doing for a while before we had our water plumbed and everything, we did all the plumbing ourselves. But before we did that, we were using these 7-gallon totes. They were filled with water, and then we would just wash our hands, wash the dishes, whatever we needed. It was kind of nice to just have a sink, but then we would wash our hands, wash the dishes. And then if we needed to take a shower, we would fill up our teapot, boil water, and then we would go take showers with that boiled water. We would put the boiled water in a little solar bag like this. So we have that. We actually still do that. We do have hot water, but we don't have like a well or anything. So we still have to kind of manage our shower water, but that's how we do it. And that has worked really well. Of course, you will need some way to actually boil the water. And I talk about alternative ways to cook. And if you have alternative ways to cook, then you have alternative ways to boil water. So that's part of this series a little bit later on. But with hygiene, you can still wash your hands. You can still have soap. Prep all the soap and the shampoo and all that stuff. And I want you to think about taking a completely different shower. Probably the way that you might be taking a shower right now is you turn on the shower head and it just comes out, right? And you just let it stay on, right? I want you to think in terms of water conservation. You turn it on, you get wet, turn it off, and you'll shampoo all yourself, your hair, your face, your body, everything. And then you'll turn it on, rinse yourself off, and you're done. That's how we do it now to just conserve water, because only so much can fit in that little solar bag. So that's what we do now. And there's also another system. It's the Hydro Blue. It's actually a pressurized system. It's here on the screen. I've done a review on that. That link is down below. I think that's a really great system too. You just pressurize it. We actually still have that. We pressurize it, and then it actually has a shower attachment. Then you can just shower yourself. So that's a pretty cool system too. Gravity feed with the bag also works. Of course, you could always fill up a tub and then take a bath like that, but that's a lot of water. So you may want to do a shower method instead, but that's totally up to you. So of course, I do want to quickly mention, talking about the tub and hygiene and everything, if you ever want to actually fill your tub with this little contraption, this is such a great and handy thing to have. You're filling up all your bowls and your buckets and everything else, go ahead and fill up that tub. But this is nice because it keeps the water nice and clean and not contaminated with anything else that could have been in your tub, or, it keeps dust out, all that stuff. So it's a nice system that can just sit nicely in your tub. Hygiene will essentially be the same as anything else. You'll wash dishes. This could be a nice little setup, have your water here, wash your hands, wash the dishes. in a lights out situation to try to conserve the water that you're using. And, so that you don't have to do so many dishes, you could have paper plates. I don't think it's any type of luxury or anything to have paper plates, especially in an emergency lights out situation, in which is hopefully just temporary, right? If it's a longer term thing, of course, paper plates, I'm not going to be using paper plates forever, right? But, we have these strictly for emergencies. Like if our water has actually gone out and we had to use these a couple times because we were just trying to conserve water because we still haul our own water. So, and that's another thing about hygiene is knowing how and when to haul your own water, local sources, things like that. But that is a whole other discussion, not necessarily towards lights out, but just in general. And I do have everything about water down below in a playlist. But it's nice to have paper plates and plastic forks and things so you don't have to do so many dishes. You may just have to like clean a pot or something after cooking, but that's about it. And, I can always burn these paper plates. It's not really creating any excess garbage, but garbage is part of hygiene as well. I would suggest trying to have some sort of burn barrel if you can in your area, either that or trying to discreetly burn it in like a tiny little outdoor fire pit, something like that. You just try to reduce the amount of waste that you are creating in a crisis. If you have diapers, if you have a kid in diapers, get like a diaper genie or something to cut down on that smell. Start a compost bin so that you're not, throwing away like a bunch of stuff. But, there are obviously going to be some things you have to throw away. The last thing I want to talk about is your toilet. So your toilet, I wouldn't be as worried about your sewer backing up as I would be worried about your toilet not being able to work because of water flow. So when your water does, stop coming out of the faucet, well, your toilet's not going to be able to produce the water as well. So I would highly suggest looking into like a bucket style or some type of bucket composting toilet, something like that. And then you figure out ways to dispose of that waste and things like that. I have a whole video on composting toilets down below in the description. I want you to check it out because I think that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to hygiene in an emergency disaster situation is that people may be unable to flush toilets because of the water needs, not necessarily because your sewer is going to back up or anything. And I think it would take a long time for your sewer to back up. You would run out of water before your sewer backed up. So I'd be more concerned about your water and your water usage with just having to flush your toilet than I would with a sewer backup. So those are my ideas and suggestions for hygiene during a lights out situation, and more specifically a no water situation, but it could definitely happen in a lights out situation. Whenever the lights go out, just fill up all your water, buckets, bowls, everything. Fill up that tub, fill up all your water, and make sure you have plenty on hand. Of course, pre-prep water well ahead of time with bottles and gallons of water. And if you want to buy these and fill them ahead of time, get all the water that you possibly can. Thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.